First, I saw the idea of Jameis Winston being traded to the Dallas Cowboys on some of the kooky websites that make stuff up, and you know who you are. And I dismissed it out of hand. Then I saw NFL Network do it, and it was Peter Schrager, who, of course, we have a lot of respect for, and Nate Burleson, who we have a lot of respect for. And they're suggesting it, not reporting it, but suggesting it, that Jameis Winston should be traded to the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm still scratching my head as to where this came from and why. NFL Network guys say the Cowboys should give up a second-round pick for Jameis Winston. Let's dissect this. One, you would be then renting Jameis Winston for half a season because he's due to be a free agent again in March. So you'd be giving up a second-round pick for a rental of a quarterback who is gifted but not good. He would come to Dallas. Nate Burleson actually said on NFL Network that he knows the system better. Knows the system better than who? Andy Dalton? No, he doesn't. This system? He knows the Saints system. He probably doesn't even know the Saints system better than Andy Dalton. He probably doesn't even know the Buccaneers system better than Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton never even played there. But he certainly does not, with all due respect to Jameis Winston, know the Dallas system better than the quarterbacks who are here now. That's an unbelievably ridiculous statement. Is he better than Andy Dalton? The Cowboys don't believe that so, obviously, or they would have signed Jameis Winston, the way I suggested, by the way, last March that they do. I thought, and we'll get to this in a minute, again, I thought it was a great and would have been a great experimental idea. I did have a coach tell me, not inside this building, any coach worth his salt, you want to get your hands on a Jameis Winston. You think you can fix that? Where he's throwing, 30 touchdown passes, that's pretty good. Oh, but 30 interceptions too. Any coach worth his salt would like to take a 6'4", 230-pound, top overall pick in the draft, a high baseball pick as well, who's only 26, and say, and he can run, and say, I think I can work with that. I think I could fix that. That's a story for another time here, but for now, the Cowboys don't think that Jameis Winston's better than Andy Dalton. And then here's the other thing that the national guys seem to forget. Andy Dalton isn't dead. Dak Prescott's out for the year, not Andy Dalton. As I speak here Friday in Frisco, Andy Dalton was at practice today. There's a possibility that on Sunday night, as he's clearing the concussion protocol, that, no, he won't start. Ben DiNucci will start, the rookie. But that Andy Dalton might be the backup quarterback or emergency or in a uniform or something because, you know, for one thing, there's virtually nobody else to do it. So Andy Dalton to go play 60 minutes in Philly, that's not the plan. But Andy Dalton will play next week. He will, unless Ben DiNucci throws 8 touchdown passes and they beat Philadelphia. Andy Dalton will be the Cowboys' starting quarterback again next week at home at AT&T against the visiting Steelers. He's not dead. His head didn't really just get decapitated. It just looked like it. And so there's all the Cowboy reasons why this story or rumor or suggestion is such nonsense. Now to the Saints side. Their starting quarterback is Drew Brees. He's 41. Their backup quarterback is actually a tight end, kind of. And he's an all-purpose guy, and maybe someday he could play quarterback. They kind of paid him like he was a backup quarterback, whereas Jameis has a veteran's minimum contract. It's $1 million. But the backup quarterback for a New Orleans team that thinks it could win the Super Bowl, that they have a chance, is Jameis Winston. Why would they give away their backup quarterback now? They're this close to again contending. And if they ever lost Drew Brees, they would need all hands on deck, and one of those hands, 2 of those hands, would be Jameis Winston. This is a fun idea for us to look into next March. Not even dependent on Dak Prescott's situation. Let's work on the assumption for now that he's back and it's $40 million and everything's fine. Let's work on the assumption that Andy Dalton does his 1 year of penance here and then gets another job somewhere else. Although Andy Dalton on a 1-year contract could certainly be back too. And then Ben DiNucci will be here. I love the idea of an off-season experiment on Jameis Winston. That's a good idea, not to give him a second-round pick, not to give him a lot of money, not to hand him a starting job when there's a better player already here, but as an experimental, developmental idea. Can we fix Jameis Winston? That is a great idea in March. It is a terrible idea and a non-starter idea at the Star in October. Fish out.